People often refer to Taiwan and South Korea as democratic stars of Asia, but let's not forget, in the few decades after World War II, both of them lived under strongman rule. Authoritarian rule, economic boom, democratic transition, and fierce partisan device. Why did their modern journey look so alike? That we'll explore today on Fusion Politics. When World War II ended, the anchored kingdom crossed the globe. Guided by Truman doctrine and covert thinking, the world was carved into two, the communist bloc and free world, and East Asia stood right at the front line of this clash. The flashpoint centered on two places. One was Taiwan Strait. The nationalists fly to the island and branded themselves as Free China, going head to head with Communist China across the strait. The other was Korean Peninsula. The US and Soviets drew 30th parallel, setting up Free Korea in the south against Communist Korea in the north. Don't think democracy was something new in post-war East Asia. It did exist, but it was fragile. Governments that could stand up to the communist bloc were unlikely to survive with what some called greenhouse democracy. To guard against communist infiltration, most free world governments in the region turned authoritarian. South Korea saw two military coups after its founding, while Taiwan remained under martial law for 38 years, only lifting it in the late 1980s.
On Little Kinmen, an advisor inspects a rifle range on which infantrymen fire across an intersecting peanut field to hit their targets. On Ertan, an advisor...
Yes, American troops were stationed in both Taiwan and South Korea, but don't assume they brought democracy with them. Washington didn't care whether the local governments were authoritarian or democratic. What mattered was simple. Could they stand firm against communist regimes? Thus, two regimes emerged, both defined by their anti-communist core. The darkness of war was not just confined to the battlefield, it also took shape in dividing societies into friends and enemies. That division became a tool for authorities to crush dissent and shift blame. By labeling protesters as collaborating with communists, harboring communists, or just being right, they could easily prosecute them. The power players of the time knew this playbook inside out. For every wave of right arrow, there was a matching wave of white arrow. In South Korea, a bitter joke even circulated. Accuse someone of being pro-communist, piece of cake. After all, who doesn't have a relative up in the north? On one side, the politics was under tight control. On the other, the economy was booming. It wasn't some miracle. It came down to joining the global market and getting tons of help from the US. Cheap labor enabled Taiwan and South Korea to rapidly accumulate initial capital. They claimed the ladder from low-value manufacturing to the world's high-end industries. Once people's stomachs were full and their wallets tight, they inevitably demanded for more rights. Yet, behind these demands lie painful memories. The walls of politics were rarely toppled with a mere push of will. It wasn't until Cold War neared its end, with US-China cooperation and the Soviet Union in decline, that the pressure from the communist bloc eased, opening a window for democratization.
悼念活动逐步演变成示威游行，学生们要求打倒官党、清除腐败、新闻自由，象征着中国最高政治权力的天幕。
What sets Taiwan and South Korea apart from China is this: their wounds have remained fresh and painful. It's not a case of time heal all wounds, but rather repeated tearing. In confronting past pain, some choose to remember, calling it the tyranny of authoritarian rule. Others choose to forget, viewing it as an inevitable step on the path of development. This divide stems from different ways of interpreting history. Today's fierce political battles are, in fact, a continuation of this politics of trauma. History always seemed to split people into two camps. Some call the old ruler great, others call them tyrants. Some say it was practical cooperation, others say it insulted the nation's pride. Some see it as a reconciliation, others see it as a collusion. People are diverse because history has given rise to so many different choices. And because history is so complicated, people are bound to be complicated too.